Hello there and welcome back to Painting with Martin. We're back with another how to play video, and today we're taking a look at Millennia Tracks of Time, published by Karma Games and designed by Orestes Leontaritis and Al-JouJou. It is published in 2025, and I had the great pleasure of meeting Karma Games at Essen Spiel, who gave me this game so I could actually take a look at it for this channel. It also has a solo mode designed by Juma Al-JouJou. So let's take a look at it. This is a game that this is a brief overview of the main player board, and we're going to take a look at it in a brief moment. But first of all, I'm going to say that it plays 1 to 4 players. It takes quite a while, I'll be honest, but it combines elements of set collection, engine building, and card crafting. You play 8 eras. And whoever has the most victory points at the end of those 8 eras will win Millennia Tracks of Time. Now, as I said, this plays 1 to 4 players. I'm not going to cover the solo mode in this game, but I'm going to set it up for 2 players. And therefore, I will show you how to set up the board for 2 players, but I will mention you as well how easy it is to set it up for 4 players, 3 or 4 players as well. Now, the main game board has 2 sides. And I'll zoom in here for you so you can see it. It has an A1 and an A2 side. You choose which side you want to play with, and it simply gives you more replayability. Some of the spots on the game board is a little bit different to the other side. So let's take a look at how you set up this game. Well, first of all, you place the main game board over here in the center of the table in full view of all the players. Then you'll simply take and shuffle all the book tokens, listed as these ones. Take them from the board, from the game box at random, and place them out at these areas here, as shown as books. Put the rest back in the box. Then you will simply take in 2 to 3 player games. You will simply cover these areas here, such as like these ones here for 4 players and here for 3 players. So in a 2-player game, both of these are covered by the unused player pieces along all these tracks as such. Then you will simply do that and making sure that you can't use those spaces. Then you will simply take your prosperity cards over here, shuffle them, and simply draw, sorry about the glare, simply draw 2 cards and place them up as such as random. In a 3 or 4 player game, you can use this spot for 3 players and 4 players this one as well. Then for the diplomacy cards, you're going to shuffle the deck and place it down here at the diplomacy card. For research, you're going to shuffle the research deck and draw 4 cards at random, putting the rest back in the box, which I've already done here. Then, of course, place the other cards, named 3 and 2, next to the player board as such. To attack wonders and buildings, you will simply sort each type into 8 shuffled face-down deck. And I'm simply going to tell you a little bit of a tip here. The game comes with these amazing inserts, and I'm going to simply keep the tier 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 tiers in the box already. You can choose to do so as well. I found it to be a lot easier, and I do the same for the buildings. Then you will simply take out, and you simply place these blank tokens here, and place them on the first stop and the second spot, and then simply form a 4x4 grid by simply dealing out the cards shown as such from top to bottom, as you can see here, like this, complete random. That's the text setup. Place the Joker technologies nearby on the player board. I chose to place it over there, but you can choose to place it next to another spot on the board to make sure it's within easy reach of all the players. For the buildings, which is a little bit different, this here signifies it's the next age. So you are not allowed to play with these cards in this age because you were in era 1, as we see here. So these are from era 2, and they are wonders. This is the thing for wonders. And my apologies for the phone. I will turn it off while you can continue looking at the game board. There we go, my apologies. Then you will simply take 2 wonders out of the 3 for the age, and simply take and put them out in full display here in the wonder section. And you can see that it's wonders by looking at the card back here. And also age 1 is like this. So I draw 2-1 here, the pyramid, the Great Pyramid, and Stonehenge. You can also see that there are wonders based on this one, and they'll also stay in the rest of the game by this little hourglass here. Then you will take out 2 buildings for each player. So in a 2-player game, 4 buildings comes out. And the buildings look like this. So 4 buildings comes out, and I place them out like this. I'll come back to the buildings a little bit later on when we do construction, in the construction phase. So in a 2-player game, these 2 spots are taken. In a 3- and 4-player game, these 2 spots are taken, with a total of 6 cards for 4 players. Then you will simply go into player setup. I've chosen randomly the player number 1 to be the first player. He takes the first player token and all his player pieces. Then you take all the wooden tokens, VP tiles, and sleep cards in your color as such, as well as the player aid. And the player aid is really phenomenal, looks like this. It tells you exactly what you can do on your turn. Then you will place your 7 track markers on space 0 on each advancement track. And these are the advancement tracks: culture, population, war, politics, influence, trade, and prosperity. And they're all here on track number 0, for both players, of course. Then you will take your victory point markers, place them on 0 over here, for both players, of course. Then it is simply time for your research tokens, and you place them next to the table as such. The extra scoring points for 100 points, 200 points, and 300 points are kept in handy whenever it's needed when you pass down these track here on the game board. And randomly pick a starting player, as I did over here. The second player gets this architect token, which gives you a nice discount when you buy buildings and wonders. You will get your starting resources, so the second player gets 12 resources, 12 money, and the architect token. And the first player gets the first player token and 10 money. Then you are almost ready to simply start playing. I already discussed the prosperity setup, the tech setup, as well as the building setup. You're now ready to start playing the game. The game is played over 7 phases and also over 8 eras. And each era has, of course, 7 phases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you can see those phases over here. I counted them up for you because I was a little bit unsure about it. So you start by doing a drafting section, starting with the leader token, which is this one. In turns, claim text or special actions by placing your draft markers in the special area, draft area. These are your draft tokens. So, for example, if I really, really want the wheel, I can simply place my draft token over here on this little spot. But before I do this one, let's take a look at prosperity, because this is a set collection game. So if I look at the set collection over here, I need these 2 symbols and these 2 symbols in order to score points on the prosperity track. So when I select the technologies which I want, I should look at the prosperity first. That's a good idea. But you don't have to, of course. So with this in mind, I'm going to choose, I think, for the first player here, he's going to choose this one here. And he's going to take the writing, putting it down over here. Now, you do this in turn order, and later on you will take other turns, not of course the drafting, simultaneously, and we'll come to that in a second. Let's go over to the second player. Now, he knows he cannot get that one, so he's going to go for the military, I think. So he's going to go with this one. He's going to go over here, and do metal casting. As you can see here, on each card, it has a number in the right-hand corner. This one here has 1 and 2, which means it's active in Era 1 and Era 2. In Era 2, it will simply be discarded as it is no longer kind of valid. It's kind of like, it's no longer available when you move on to new attacks. So if it's, for example, here Empire, this one here, it's discarded after the first age. So therefore it stays in play only for one round. But this one in particular, the metal casting, stays in play for the next era, which might be useful for your strategies. So he's going to place it over here. And it doesn't cost anything to draft these ones. On the contrary, actually, because in the income phase, you will score income based on how many of your discs are over here. So, for example, the first player here will score 3 money in the income phase. This one here has a little lock, which means that normally you will need to have unlocked it. However, in the first era, everyone has this one unlocked, so it's not a problem. But for later eras, you need to have unlocked it before you can actually get the money there. Keep in mind, you can still place your token there, but you might not get the money. Let's move on to the first player. He really wants this prosperity thing, so he's going to go straight for the second one here, and that means he's going for the wheel. Now he knows he's already completed these two, and we'll come back to the prosperity in the second. Back to the white player. Or the second player, he knows he really needs the energy, and he's gonna go over here to put it on this one. He takes this one, and the good thing with this one is that he already unlocks the next era for the 5 income setting if he chooses to place something there. I'm gonna place it back over here. Sorry, I'm moving back here with my camera back and forth, and I hope it's okay for you guys because I don't have an advanced studio where I can show from different angles and all that. Now back to the first player. I should mention also something, that there are special actions here. Instead of going on all of these cards, you can take a special action. So if you want to go up on one of these tracks here, you can simply take your action draft marker, place it here, instead of going on one of these cards, and you will move up one step on that track without having to simply pay for it. And I'll come back how you actually move up on the tracks in a second. But he's still not ready for that. So I think he really wants to go up on, let's see, what does he want to do? He wants to make sure he can get something out of it for the next round. And just to keep in mind, I'm going to play one era here to make sure that you get the hang of the game. I'm not going to give you a full playthrough of the game because it's a fairly long one. I think he can't go with any one of these because they're already full. So he might actually go for music. Or will he go for music? No, he will actually go for masonry. This one. My apologies. So he'll take the masonry, placing it down over here. Now this guy here, he has the strategy clear for him, so he's actually going to go already for this one here, which is a special action, and then no one else can play it. Everyone can play on these ones, however, and then you get a joke attack. And joke attack is one attack of your choice, and it expires after one round. And that means it's back to the black player. He wanted to go here, but now he can't, so he has to change his strategy. He will go for military. That will be good for him. And back to the other player. What will he do? Does he want money? Well, he's going to have a fairly good income. Let's move it out over here so you can see what they've been placing on. And hard to say, really. He has this one and this one, but he hasn't really advanced anything. So he's going to go to this one here and get the music one. Because the good thing with the music one here is that it's active for 3 eras. So that's actually good. Placing it out in his play area. Now, when this is done, you are simply not fulfilling all of these things yet. You simply go into the next phase, which is prosperity. Prosperity is very easy. You check on your text and see, do you have the necessary symbols so you can meet the prosperity requirements. So the prosperity requirements are these ones over here. So either you need this tech or that tech. And let's see what they're called. They all have names, but I'm really a bit bad at names. Oh yeah, they need economics and transportation for the first one. And for the second one, you need energy and military, pure military. That's easy. Let's see if they meet those requirements. Okay, this one, the first player, he meets those two requirements, which means he moves up one step on the stack. Now, if this would be the end of the game, he will score 4 points. You don't score these cumulative, you simply score these ones, whoever is the highest on the track, and that means you will score those points at the end of the game. We'll come back to that. This guy here already had these ones here, the military and the energy, so he also moves up one step. You can only move up one step on the prosperity track per era, so to say. And there are certain book tiles that allows you to move maybe one step more, but it's very rare. Now let's take a look at what we've done prosperity. We are going into income phase. So what is income phase? You simply count up all the income you have on the tracks. This one should be over here. He gains 2, 5, 10 money. So 10 money is what the first player here gained, and he still keeps his leadership token because no one else took it. Important. The other player here, the second player, will gain a total of 4, 8, 13 money. So that's 1, 2, 3. I'm collecting it here on the side. 3, and let's see here, 1, 2, 10. So that's 13 money for him, placing it in his play area. That's income, pure and simple. And then you go into construction. So construction is very easy. The player with the architect token, which actually he actually gets it from this guy. So you both have the architect token and the first player token, or the leadership tokens, which is really powerful. So starting with the architect token, the player gets first choice of all of these buildings. You can build one wonder and one building. You do not get a build for these ones because they are from the second era. So don't think about these ones. So let's take a look at the buildings here, and the wonders. Here are the wonders. The cost of each building and wonder is located in the upper left corner. So here it costs 21 and 16. For the wonders, they are for end game scoring. So in the end of the game, if you look at the politics track here, if you have the Great Pyramid, you will simply score a total number of points times 2 for your victory points. So if you had it over here, that's 7 times 2, 14 points. Stonehenge is a bit different because it relies on buildings. And there are 3 kinds of buildings: brown, yellow and green. You score 5 points for every one of those at the end of the game. Now take a look at the buildings here. Now the yellow buildings are for endgame scoring if you meet the requirements. It costs 17 gold, and if you are at least on track 7 on each of those tracks for culture and politics, you'll score 15 points. But if you don't reach that, it's worth no points at all. The brown buildings and the green buildings give you effects during the game until they essentially expire at this age. But expiring buildings do not actually go to the discard pile and out of the game. They actually stay in the game for endgame scoring purposes. So for example, Stonehenge, and they simply get to be placed in the sleep area of each building, each player. So he really wants something here. So for example here, this one gives you an unlock feature for income. If you place it in the 5th space, for example, like here, this one, for eras 2, 3 and 4, for 9 money. But since he has a discount of -3, which gives this one here a one-time effect, it only costs him 6. So that's actually quite powerful. Let's take a look at what else he can build. You have stone mason hut, which means you can spend a masonry and move up 1 space on the culture track. He actually has 1 masonry, so I think that's the one he wants to get. But let's take a look at the last one, which is palace. It's active for 2 eras, and it gives you either this symbol or that symbol, as if you had it on a technology card. Also powerful. He's going to buy this one for 12, putting it in his play area. And of course he's paying 15, and he gets... Oh no, he does not. He's paying 9 because he has actually this one here. And once you've used it, you flip it on back of the side. So he pays 10. My mistake. And that means you get 1 back. You can build a wonder as well, but he doesn't really have the money for it. Back to the other player. He has quite a lot of money. So he's going to simply buy. He has the fire setting here, so he's quite good for the next round. So he doesn't really want it. So hunting camp is not really good for him, but he wants the palace. That will cost him 8 because he doesn't have a discount. And 8 will give him 1, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Very easy. Back to the supply. He doesn't want to build a wonder, so that's the end of the construction phase. Now let's take a look at the let's take a look at the action phase, which is kind of the bread and butter of the game. And I really like this one. So in the action phase, normally you would actually do this simultaneously, but I'm going to take through it and guide it to you by player by player. So player 1 will take all his fast actions, followed by player 2. And that's why you move up on these tracks here. And you simply expend these things here. Now, something I discovered just now as well. In the prosperity action, you can see here, if he fulfills the prosperity action, he gains 3 extra money. So that's something that I should have given him. So that's 3 extra money. It's good that I caught that one. So let's just say that. So writing is really good if you fulfill the prosperity, and it gives you extra money. So let's go back to the action thing again. So the first thing you are going to do is you are going to see what can I do to move up on the tracks. Now, he has a special action here. You can use these ones, or we can use expend the cards. So let's see, he's going to go and spend this one here. This one here means he spend this one, and he moves up 3 on the military track, like this. Then he's going to, what is he going to do? He's going to spend 7. Oh no, he actually has one of these. He's going to spend this one, which means he's going to flip this one over here, and he can spend the masonry and move up on the culture track. Spending it like this, moving it up over here, and he gets a bonus of 1 joke attack. Awesome. Now you get it immediately, and it's a one-time effect. My apologies. Now, what else does he want to do? I think he also wants to spend 7 money to get another joke attack, which he can do here. These are auxiliary reactions, and auxiliary reactions are quite powerful. Spend 7 money to get a joke attack. Spend any 1 attack that you haven't spent already, and this is of course a spent one, this is an unspent one, and gain 2 money. It's kind of like not so good action, but it's sometimes useful. Spend any 2 actions, and spend any 2 cards, any 2 attacks to get a joke attack. Also quite useful, can also be quite useful. So he's going to get another joke attack. And of course he has to use them because they expire at the end of this round. So now he has some things to do actually. So he could actually go up here again because he can spend 2 joker resources, but I think he will actually do something else. He's going to go for research. So research is quite powerful. See, he's simply going to use this one, which is transportation, and 2 joke attacks to get 6 research points. If he gets 6 research points, he can spend them according to this ones here. And if he gets 6, he can choose to either move the military 3 steps and get 6 victory points, or he can place his little science marker in one of the texts down here, which can have very powerful effects during the game. So that is what he's going to do. He's simply going to spend this one over here and discard the 2 joke attacks. And discard them over here. And of course, that means he gets 6 research points. If you overspend, so for example you get 7 and you want to use 6, the last one is simply not used, because there's, as you can see here, you can only get 1 research action here. Research can be done any number of turns you want during the game or during your turn, but you can only get simply 1 research action. So he's going to get this one here because he thinks it's quite powerful to get it early. So he simply takes this one here, and let's see what they can do. Whenever you reach the end of a track of the population track, such as these ones, you get 1 victory point for every 2 buildings, every 2 black buildings, I believe, or brown buildings. Here you get an extra 4 victory points, so it's good. Here, once per turn, you can decrease your military, not below 0 of course, and gain 4 money. Here, you can spend any military of your technologies to only require 1 of your techs for prosperity. And here, every time you take a special action, and these are the special actions, you gain 3 victory points. And I think he's going to go for this one here, which is nice. Every time he takes a special action for the rest of the game, he gains 3 victory points. That's really nice. And for the last one here, he's simply going to spend it like this, because he has nothing left to do, and he gets a total of 2 money as an auxiliary action. That's the end of his turn. Let's move over to the second player and see what he can do. Now, he has some interesting things to do, for sure. Now, he has this action here, which is this thing called here, which is government or military. He has this one here, which gives him energy, and he has music, and he has metal casting. Not the greatest options, to be honest, but he does actually have this tech here, and with a special action here, which allows him to move 1 space on the culture track, which is exactly what he's going to do. And he's going to move up here and get a joker tech. And with that joker tech, he can actually do some nice things. Now, with that joker tech, he's going to do the following thing. He can spend that joker tech with music as such, like this. The joker tech, of course, goes back to the supply. It's a one-time use. And then he can move again on the culture track. It's going to do this one. And this one is a special action here. As a one-time effect, you can move any of the other tracks where you have the least and simply move it 1 step forward. So let's take a look at them. This one is fairly easy to get. Military is also fairly easy. Government is also quite easy. But this is the hardest one, because it also gives you discounts when you buy wonders. This one requires economics plus any 3 of your technologies and joker techs to move up on the prosperity track. And when you do so, you get 3 victory points, 3 money, and to move once. But if you only get to use it as an effect from other tracks, you don't get these things. It's only when you pay the resources. So he's going to move up 1 step over here, and that gives him a permanent 2 money discount when buying wonders. If you ever cross over a book track token, you take it and you score the points. For example, here you score 1 victory point for every black building you have in your player area. And you keep these book tokens with you. You don't discard them, because some wonders might give you victory points for them. Let's take a look at, for example, the trade track. It will give you income. And one important thing here, you can see that there is a padlock here. The padlock here means you can't go over to step 7 unless you have unlocked it, and you unlock it over here in the prosperity. So once you've moved over to the 4th step for prosperity, which can happen in the 4th round, and that means you have unlocked this step. So further on, you can see that there are other areas here that gives you unlocking features. So for example, the population will give you in area step 5 the option to unlock military, either going up over here, to unlock the 7th step, and you can get the 3 victory points every time you cross over here. So if you have 3 movements and you step over here, you get 9 victory points, which is very good. Now, the culture track gives you some nice other benefits as well, gives you more book tokens, etc. as well. And of course, if you reach the end of the track over here, you will score 20 victory points at the end of the game. As a little symbol here, this is end game scoring. Now, there's one thing here we haven't talked about when it comes to the actions. And of course, we want to finish this guy first before we do so, before it gets too overcomplicated. Now, he has 2 actions left. He's going to simply take, he has some money left, so he can spend 5 plus 2 is 7 and get another joker tech. And with this one, he will simply do this one plus this one and move up on the income track. When you do so, you can either move up 1 step or gain 6 money. Then he has 2 steps left, and he's simply going to take this one here for 2 money, and this one here to simply gain 1 step in the military. And he's done with his turn. Now, when all action step has been resolved, you simply go to war. And what does war do? Now, apologies again, I have a little bit of a cold, so apologies for that. Now, war simply means you look at the player who is the least on the military. He decreases all the way when he reaches 0. In this case, he decreases 1 step, and all the other players decrease as many steps as that player decreases. So in the case, 1 step. And that's it. It can be quite devastating if you're further up ahead. So for example, if this guy was at step 5 and this one is step 6, he will decrease all the way to 0, and then this one decreases all the way back to 1. It can be quite devastating. Now, when this one is done, you will simply go for upkeep. And upkeep, before we go for upkeep, I'm going to mention one more thing. There's a card we haven't talked about. It's called diplomacy. And diplomacy is easy. You spend 1 communication and 1 energy to draw 2 of these cards and keep 1. And then you will do certain things. For example, here, if you move up on, you can go up on the government step, an extra step, and get a joker resource. And the other one gives you research points. Now, or it has a lower effect as such. 3 victory points or 3 money. You choose whatever you want to do. And you, of course, you discard 1, like this. Certain effects in the game allows you to draw an extra 1, but then you only draw 1. Certain ones allows you, means that you have to discard 1 in order to actually move on. And you have to pay the cost first before you actually move on, just as an example. So he chooses to keep this one in his play area. Now, this one here as well, I don't know if I mentioned, spend 2 techs and gain a joker tech if you don't have the money. And this one we already did. Now, in the upkeep phase, it's quite easy. You are simply going to put all the outdated buildings on sleep cards. So for example, if we were in, so for example, this one here, if we were in the 4th era, we're going to put this building on the sleep card over here or over here, depending on which building it is. For example, the brown building here will go on the brown building, and the green building will go on the green building. Then you are simply going to discard outdated tech cards. So all of these cards will get discarded, and you will simply draw 2 new ones. So let's see if I can show you how to do that. So I'm going to take all of these cards. Sorry about that for the camera. Put in these cards like this. And then you will slide these ones down 1 step. And if you slide them down past this step, you will simply move them up. And you will simply take out a new grid and simply put them out from top to bottom and form a new 4-to-4 grid. Made a little bit of a mistake here, but I think you get the idea here. I'm just putting them out here. Not exactly how you're supposed to do it, because it's easier to do it with the left hand, and I'm a right-handed person, so a little bit difficult for me. When it comes to these ones are the prosperity cards are discarded, and 2 new ones are drawn and shown up as such. These are the new goals for the next era. You'll do the same thing for the buildings as I showed you in the setup, but the new cards for the next era will simply slide down, and you'll get 2 new ones for era 3 are going up here, and you will move the run marker to the 2nd era. Then of course you will refresh your prosperity cards as I did, text, wonders and buildings as I showed you, and flip the architect token to its unused side. And of course you will flip back your text and see, of course, is anything discarded. In this case we have nothing discarded, which I find they are going to be discarded and expiring after the end of this era. This one here is also available for this era. This is a powerful card. And this guy, let's see here, does he have anything? It will get expired after this era. Of course, this one should have been discarded. And let's have a look over here. No, and no, and No. And he's actually quite okay with that. Now, and this is how the game goes. That you play 8 eras, and in the end of the 8th era, you will simply do no war, but you will do the drafting, prosperity, income, construction, and action phase. You will not do war, and you will not do upkeep. And then you go to final scoring. So let's show you a little bit how final scoring and what it can look like theoretically, not looking, of course, the way it looks now, because we're in the beginning of the game. Final scoring is fairly easy. You will score points on the point track, of course. Prosperity, population, and culture tracks for each of these tracks gain VP equal to the highest number of VP you've advanced on the track. So in the case of prosperity, if the higher you are, the more points. For population, it is the same. The higher you are, the more points. The same thing for the culture track. Influence and politics. Influence and politics are a little bit different. You are simply going to gain VP equal to your position on the influence track multiplied by your position on the politics track. And the politics track have 2 different parts, democracy and tyranny. If you go to tyranny, it's going to be worth less victory points in the end of the game, but more powerful bonuses. Democracy will offer more powerful end-game scoring bonuses, but slightly less actual bonuses during the game. It will be awarding you diplomacy cards once you cross over. You can cross over many times, of course. And here you will get where you are the least of either of military and population when it comes to moving over the cross. So if you have, say, for example, 2 in population and 5 in military, you'll score 2 victory points every time you cross over. Just as a showing, not for in-game scoring, of course. Now, the war track, you will gain VPs equal to your position multiplied by 2. So, for example, if this was the case, the first player here would get 4 victory points, and the second player would gain 10. Wonders and yellow buildings, you will gain VPs shown on each of your wonders. And for yellow buildings, if you have managed to acquire the exact specifications as listed here, minimum 7 on the blue track, politics track, and minimum 7 on the culture track, you will score 15 victory points as such. Now, diplomacy cards, you will gain 3 victory points for any unused diplomacy cards you have. And when you pass the 0 again going around the track, you are simply going to use these ones as needed. They are double-sided, so it goes to 100, 200, 300 and 400 as well. So I'm going to show over here 300 and 400. And the tiebreaker is the player latest in age 1 turn order wins. And you can see the starter cards. So this is the starter card over here, for example. There's a solo variant which I haven't kept, which I have mentioned, but there's a really good one. I haven't actually checked it out. In the rulebook, there's actually a solo helper app that you can download as well. And I recommend you doing so if you're not going to play for the solo game. Otherwise, this was a how to play video for Millennia Tracks of Time. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you feel that I made a mistake, or you feel that I should have mentioned something that I didn't, please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I hope you will continue watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you to all of you who have subscribed to my channel. It really helps me grow. It means a lot to me. Every comment, every like I get, I really try to respond to all of you. Thank you so much to all of you. And thank you again to Karma Games for giving me this game so I can show you how to play Millennia Tracks of Time. Thank you very much for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.